Wow, what a story there. I was just thinking that was so fun. I think we ought to consider inducting him again next year as well. Thank you, Stellan. Now we come to our final honoree of the evening, who will be presented with the Mark Matthews Lifetime Achievement Award. The U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Fame awards this honor to individuals who have made exceptional long-term contributions to the sport of table tennis in the United States. The Lifetime Achievement Award specifically recognizes those whose impact goes far beyond competitive success and spans decades. That's code for you've been around a while to get this award. We've got the ideal person to introduce this year's Mark Matthews Lifetime Award winner because she also received the same honor in 2014. And she's also a former president of the U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Fame. Please give a warm welcome to Ms. Donna Sakai.
Thank you, Derek. It's an honor to be here tonight to recognize and celebrate my friend, longtime friend, Connie Sweeris. I want to share some pictures of her this evening with you and talk a little bit about why she's getting this award. Connie's remarkable journey in table tennis began when she was only 9 years old in her hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm not sure, I can't see what's up there. Is there any? Okay. This picture is, I don't think she's 9, but she's still quite young. Like many of us here, her first coach was her father, Sam. Connie had an older brother, Bob, who also played and helped develop her game. Connie and I first met as rivals, competing against each other and trading titles and wins in the girls and junior miss events. Eventually, we decided to partner up and play doubles, and our partnership has paid off big time over the years. Early on, we won the U.S. Open Junior Miss Doubles event, and then we went on to win 2 times the U.S. Open Women's Doubles Adult, Women's Singles, Women's Doubles event. I still remember the excitement of holding our huge trophies at the 1964 U.S. Open, and then we were even more excited, I think, when we saw that our picture was on the cover of the Table Tennis Topics, the national magazine. Was that what up? Okay. As a teenager, Connie was a top-ranked women's player, and she was named in 1962 the most valuable player at our prestigious national team championships. I think that's a picture. I'm not sure if that's actually from that tournament or not, but okay. As my playing days came to a close, Connie continued training and competing and winning. In 1971, Connie accomplished a rare sweep at the U.S. Open, a triple crown. She won the women's singles over, actually, we have her opponent here, Wendy Hicks here. Wendy, want to say hi? And then she also teamed up with Wendy to win the women's doubles. And of course, she teamed up with her husband, Dell, to win the mixed doubles. And I'm not sure what pictures. Should be a picture of Connie jumping up. Do we have that one? Yeah, and then, pardon? All 3. Okay, and then her signature move when she ducks down. I never realized you did it in women's doubles. I've seen it several times when you play with Dell. And then the last picture is the mixed doubles finals. In 1971, it continued as a banner year for Connie. She was a member of the U.S. women's team at the World Championships in Japan. She was a crucial member of the U.S. team that was invited by China to extend their trip and visit China for a series of friendship matches and diplomacy. This visit became a significant historical diplomatic event between the U.S. and China, becoming known as ping pong diplomacy. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Connie, and it's proved to be a continuing life legacy far beyond the table. I'm going to leave the deeper story of ping pong diplomacy to Connie, because I know she wants to share her personal experiences with you tonight. I think the one picture is the year after, 1972, the Chinese team came back to the United States and did a tour playing exhibition matches. So the first picture is of the US players who participated in that, and then we have some action shot of Connie playing a Chinese player. Connie continued to play in the 70s and 80s, earning titles and respect at every level, including being a member of the silver medal women's team at the very first Pan American Games in 1979. And I think I recognize at least one other person in that picture, my husband, David. All of these accomplishments and more were recognized in 1987 when she was inducted into the U.S. Table Tennis Hall of Fame. And there's a kind of a blurry picture up there. Who we got? We have Connie and Dell and some other people that us old-timers know. Yeah. Hushang, Jimmy McClure. Oh, the Saul and Dell. Her contributions to that point certainly by no means ended there. Connie, along with Dell, have dedicated themselves to growing our sport in many ways. They established the Woodland Table Tennis Center in Grand Rapids, providing local players of all ages a place to train and play for many years. There's the dynamic duo, one in action and one. Her commitment extends within her own family. Her son Todd became an elite player, an Olympic team member in 1996 and 2000. Todd actually joined his parents in the Table Tennis Hall of Fame in 2013. It's another triple crown for the Sweeris family. Connie has also shown her organizational and fundraising skills as a member of the operating committee of 3 very successful U.S. Open events in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's a promotional picture from the 2010 U.S. Open. Now I want to come back to more current times and talk about her return to competition in senior events. Table tennis, as we know, is a sport for all ages. And Connie continues to rack up title after title in the veterans events. She has won both open and closed singles titles in the over 65, 70, and 75 age groups. I'm also happy to say that our doubles partnership is still going strong. We've teamed up to win several national and open doubles titles in the age events. What picture is up there now? Okay. She excelled on the international stage as well, all at the 2018 World Veterans in Las Vegas. Connie won a bronze medal in the women's over 70 event. That's on, I guess, on the podium there, right? And in the doubles over 70, we partnered to win the silver medal. Even better, in 2023 at the World Veterans in Muscat, Oman, Connie and Dell won the silver medal in the over 75 mixed doubles. And I'm very happy to say Connie and I won the gold medal in the 75 women's doubles event. Pardon?
Who won gold medal in mixed doubles? Go ahead and say it.
No.
Donna and Dave. She has to decide it.
This is about Connie, not me. Okay, and we look forward to playing next year in South Korea, so please wish us luck. For over 65 years, Connie has given her talent, her time, her support and energy to table tennis. I'm sorry. Her accomplishments are truly remarkable. National champion, world team member, world champion, mentor, volunteer, global ambassador for our sport. Clearly, this is a lifetime of achievement. So it gives me great pleasure and joy tonight to present to my longtime rival, doubles partner, but most importantly, my longtime friend, Connie Sweeris, the Mark Matthews Lifetime Achievement. Now, you can put it under there until.
Okay.
I'll get my stuff out of the way.
Okay.
There we go.
Wow, what an honor. Thank you, Donna, for that wonderful introduction. I don't think I deserve all of that, but thank you anyway. I would like to thank a lot of people tonight. One, the Hall of Fame Board of Directors for honoring me with such a Lifetime Achievement Award. Also, I'd like to mention Steve Isaacson, who founded the Hall of Fame in 1979. And then Tim Bogan, who was a former president of the USATT. He kept it going for a lot of years with Steve Isaacson. Also, Sean O'Neill, who's obviously here tonight, who's president of the Hall of Fame currently, and he continues to get support for the Hall of Fame. I'd also like to thank all of the past Lifetime Achievement recipient that have received this award. They've put a lot of effort in their whole life for table tennis and developing our sport. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my husband, Del, who is my best friend and the love of my life, and has been by my side for 58 years. Wow, I can't hardly believe that one, but anyway, he has. In fact, Del and I started our table tennis career when I was 10 and he was 12. We competed in our first table tennis tournament in Chicago, Illinois, again when we were 10 and 12, and we won our age divisions. We met at our Grand Rapids local table tennis club. My brother Bob and his father, Art, started that club. And what a journey we've been on since then. Del and I both have won many, obviously, championship titles that Donna has mentioned. But the most memorable event in my life took place 54 years ago. Well, and I was going to say when many of you were not born in this room, if there were going to be a lot of young people in here. But it was called ping pong diplomacy. I was competing in the Nagoya, Japan World Championships in 1971, representing the United States. And at that World Championships, the Chinese team was there, and it was their first Worlds back for 6 years. They were not allowed to compete because they were in a cultural revolution in their country. And so China would not let them go to the World Championships. At that championship, the last day of the competition, the Chinese delegation came to our team and asked us if we wouldn't extend our trip and go into China and play what they called friendship matches. Friendship first, competition second. And we heard that motto a lot. Obviously, we accepted the invitation and went to China. At this point, no American had been allowed into China for 22 years since the Communist Party took over in 1949. I was very apprehensive walking across that border. We had to walk across the border. We were taken to Hong Kong and took a train ride to the border. And as we were crossing the border, there stood the Chinese Red Army soldiers with rifles on that border. So it was very nerve-wracking and apprehensive for me at that time. Our team knew nothing about China. And the only thing we did know was that they were a communistic country and they had the best table tennis players in the world. So we were excited about that. Our first friendship match took place in Beijing, and it was before 18,000 people. And what a thrill that was, because here in the United States back in '71, we were lucky if we had 200 or 300 people watching our championships. So to play before 18,000 people was really something. The highlight for me on that trip was meeting the premier of China, Zhou Enlai. I personally got to shake hands with him. And that whole experience of being in China, the American team going into China, being the first Americans in there, made news all around the world. In fact, we made the cover of Time magazine. We were standing on the Great Wall of China in that picture when they took it. The significance of ping pong diplomacy was it helped to open up the door of communication between the United States and the China. China slowly then became part of the global community of nations again. These people-to-people exchanges really helps to break down barriers and promote understanding between countries. In fact, today, these exchanges are still happening. The Beijing University team came to California in 2023 and played, and the University of Virginia sent a team to China. So they're still happening, and I hope they continue to happen. The anniversaries, we celebrated so many anniversaries of ping pong diplomacy since that time in '71. In fact, at one of the events in China, we helped plant a redwood tree. The redwood tree can live to be 1,000 years old. And we hoped when we planted that redwood tree that it would symbolize the longevity of friendship between our countries. I would like to say at this time that the U.S. State Department in Washington, D.C. has an American diplomacy display. What it is made up of is pictures and artifacts of historic events in the U.S. for diplomacy. I donated several items to the U.S. State Department, and they are being displayed now in the Bush Library in Texas. So if you ever get a chance to visit the U.S. State Department, you may see some of it, or if you get a chance to visit one of the libraries, they may go around to the different libraries too. Another part of my journey in table tennis was being co-chairman of three U.S. Open championships with my husband, Del. And it was really neat to see our city, Grand Rapids, step up and support these events. We're a small city, but we still were pretty good in table tennis as far as clubs and stuff go. So it was fun to watch them step up. We would meet once a month with a committee of people that were really dedicated to putting on a really good event and tournament. I worked mainly with the sponsors and awards on those events, giving out awards to the sponsors. Table tennis is truly a sport that you can play and be involved in for a lifetime. As for instance, me, I'm 78 years old and still being involved in table tennis. In fact, I was going to say, I started competing lately in the older age divisions, as Donna has mentioned. And I also was going to say, Donna, you know, we won the gold medal in doubles there. So that was really a fun event. That was held in Muscat, Oman in the Middle East in 2023. I was going to say I'd like to talk to the young table tennis players here tonight, but I'm not sure there's a whole lot of young people here. But at some point in their careers, or even your careers here, you might have a chance to represent the U.S. in a World Table Tennis Championship or even the Olympics. And if you were going to do that, at that point you become an ambassador for table tennis and the U.S. And I was going to say, you need to compete well and do it with sportsmanship and integrity. My hope is that the younger generation of table tennis players will carry the legacy of ping pong diplomacy and friendship forward. Countries can have different ideologies, but we can still be friends. I know that when we were in China, the premier said to the American team, "What a joy it is to greet friends from afar." Let's all try to work together for global peace. Thank you for this award.